So I've been playing with this new Pioneer low range reduction all week. I've actually pulled the transmission in and out of my Talon, or excuse me, my Pioneer twice, my 2022 Pioneer. First to install it and then to inspect it and calculate the ratios. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through some, what I think is the ideal setup involving reduction boss gears, Jeremy Lee, and Adam Brown gears, stacking them. Then I'm going to tell you some details like pricing on the Adam Brown gears. Then I'm going to tell you some extra parts you probably need. And then I'm going to show you how I calculated the gear ratios and what those ratios are with the Adam Brown reduction. All right, so there's been a bunch of good discussion about this on the Facebook pages and my YouTube channel, and I just had a realization. You could run all of Adam Brown's gears and all of Jeremy Lee's gears for the ultimate Talon Pioneer sub-transmission. So hear me out. So Jeremy Lee gives you a 25% high, low, and reverse. Some people that run like desert racing and stuff like that need a higher high, but they want this lower, the lower low and low reverse. So what you could do is, you could run Jeremy Lee's 25%. You could put Adam Brown's 27.5 low, his 6.25 reverse, and his 13% higher high. And if you ran all of those gears in your sub-transmission along with the reduction boss gears, that'd give you a low ratio 60% lower than stock. But your high ratio would only be 10% lower than stock because Adam Brown has an overdrive high ratio set. So it wouldn't cost you much top speed. If you're running oversized tires, it wouldn't cost you any top speed. And then that would give you a reverse ratio of about 32 or 33% overall. So to me, this would be the ultimate Talon Pioneer setup because it's the widest ratio, right? This is my website. I don't know if anyone knows that, but I have a website. It's got a bunch of good stuff on it. It also has the gear reduction calculator for all the Honda ATVs, super helpful, and all my sponsorship info, yada, yada, yada. But if you go to the website or you just YouTube Mudpuppy Off-Road, you can go to here. Videos. Here we go. This is one of the ones I posted. So all of my videos about this gear reduction, if you go down to here and you hit more, here's all the details about the gear reduction. Here's all the pricing, Adam Brown's contact info, his website. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I went to his website. Well, here's his video, by the way. Check out this video, too. A lot of good details about all this stuff. Sorry I keep playing videos over my talking. But anyway, here's the description. I'm going to leave it paused here for a minute so you can pause the video and just look at it if you can't find the description of the video because apparently it's hard to do on a cell phone or something. I want to make people aware that there's a couple parts you may need to change or you will need to change depending on the year of your machine. Okay? So I'm going to try to show you the part numbers you need to order in addition to the gear reduction. Right now, Adam Brown's the only one doing these installs. I got one to install because of my YouTube channel and because me and Adam Brown are buddies. But eventually these will be for sale to the public and people may be attempting their own installs and I don't want someone to get their transfer case all apart and realize they need more parts. So I'd learned this the hard way, so I'm trying to give you guys information ahead of time. Okay, so the gear reduction comes with three things. It comes with a reverse idler, which looks like this. It comes with a new low gear, which is this gear right here. It slots into this piece, right? Just these teeth. And it comes with the big output shaft gear, which is on a different diagram. Okay, but depending on the model you have, you may need more stuff. So if you're like me and you have a 22 or newer machine, your reverse looks nothing like this. You have a one-piece reverse, which means to install the gear reduction, you need these two bearings, 25, and you need this reverse shaft, number 6. That's because Honda updated it. So this old reverse that's on the 21 and older Pioneer 1000s and Talon 1000s is double bearings. This thing has bearings on a shaft, and the shaft has bearings in a case. It's silly, that's how Honda did it, and then when they updated for 2022, they made it all one piece. So to install the gear reduction, you need a couple more parts. You need number 6, and you need 2 number 25s. Okay, that's what you need if you have a 2022 or newer 1000. All right, now it gets a little trickier. If you have a Pioneer 1000, this is only for Pioneer guys, that's 2021 or older, you do not need this shaft. You already have that. But what you do need is this gear right here, number 4. So you need the Talon reverse gear to mate with the gear reduction reverse idler. This is not the gear you want. You want this one. This is a 21, right? You want to put the reverse gear out of a 22. Do I have that open anywhere? Let's go to that. 22, any of these Pioneers will work. Final drive shaft. you want number 6 right here. You see how it's got 25 teeth instead of 27 teeth? That's what you need if you're going to put this in an older Pioneer. Guys, so I did the ratios in Excel. I'll show you those in a minute for what this gear reduction is actually giving you in low and reverse. So we know it's a 27.5% in low. That's pretty easy to calculate. The reverse is a little more complicated because there's an idler shaft in here. So there's 2 ratios involving reverse. I did the math and I got a pretty low amount of reduction in reverse compared to the 27.5% in low. That was confusing, and the teeth shape looks kind of weird on the idler too. So I wanted to do a sanity check. So I pulled my sub-transmission back out of the Pioneer, threw it on the bench, and we're going to calculate the number of turns of the input shaft to the number of turns of the output shaft. We're just going to count them, write them down, and then we'll divide that, and that'll give us our ratio for reverse. I also did this with low, and I also did it with a stock Talon transfer case in low and reverse to have a benchmark. And so far all my calculations using the teeth counts are dead nuts accurate. But just so there's no confusion, and if someone else wants to repeat this, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing it. So I've got one vice grip here on the output shaft, and I have a reference point of a punch taped there. I've got another vice grip here on the input shaft with a reference point of a Q-tip at the tip of the vice grip. We're going to count the number of input turns, the number of output turns, and I think you'll see what I'm on about here. So yeah, here we go. By the way, I've already done this 20 times just to check myself. I've done a bunch of this, and I'm pretty confident in my numbers at this point. So let's start going. 1, 2, 3, and we just went past our first revolution on the output shaft. So let's start a new one down here. So that's 1 so far output. Excuse me, start another one. That's 3 input turns over 1 output. Now that's not very accurate, right? Because there's a gap here. So we're going to keep going to get this more accurate. I'm just going to put tick marks for the output revolutions. Okay. So there's 4, 5, and 6. We had another one. 7, 8, 9, and another one. So we're somewhere less than 3 to 1. 10, 11, 12. Had another output. 13, 14. Oh wow, that lined up really good at 14. So that's 5 input and 14 output. So that's 14 over 5. It lines up really nice there. That's lined up there. That's lined up there. So we're going to count there. Okay, so 14 turns of the input gear to 5 turns of the output gear. That gives you a ratio, I think that's 2.8. Let me see. And this is a really, this is how you calculate your diff ratio on your truck when you can't see the gears, right? It's a very brute force way to do it, but it does work. So 14 divided by 5, yeah, 2.8. Okay, so 2.8 is your overall reduction when you're in reverse, and that's both of the gear sets that are involved there. The one on the input shaft and the idler, and the one on the idler and the output shaft. Okay, so let me show you what low is. Low is a good bit different than that. I shifted the selector to low range, and we're going to repeat the same exercise. So that was reverse right here. Or now we're going to do low. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, low is greater than 3 to 1. 4. Okay, so we've just got 1 complete revolution on the output. We'll put a tick mark. 5, 6, 7. Had another one. 8, 9, 10, 11, and another one. 12, 13, 14, another one, 15, 16, 17. Oh, that lines up really nice. Okay, so let's just call that 17 over 5. 17 over 5, what does that equal? 17 divided by 5 is 3.4. So both these work out really nice, really smooth. Okay, and that's low. So you can see just from looking at this transfer case, not even involving that one, that low has a way bigger reduction than reverse, 3.4 to 28, or 2.8. That's not the reduction factor, right? We got to compare this reverse to a stock reverse and this low to a stock low. So now we're going to do that. All right, guys, so you saw my method. I repeated the same thing for the stock Talon gearbox with the stock gears. And then I compared my calculated ratio using the teeth count to my ratio counting revolutions. And everything was really close. So Talon stock low is 2.66. I calculated by counting revolutions 2.6625. That's more than close enough. Reverse ratio on a stock Talon is 2.64. I calculated 2.64 if you round to 2 decimal places. So that looks good. And then for the Adam Brown 27.5% low gears, I calculated 3.4 doing the math with the teeth and exactly 3.4 counting revolutions. And then for reverse, doing the math with the teeth, I calculated 2.805. Counting revolutions, I got 2.08. So again, if you round, I got the exact same numbers. So I'm very confident in my results. I calculated it 2 different ways, using teeth count and using input and output rotations. So if you want to argue with these numbers, feel free to explain your methodology, but I think this is sound. Okay, so now we get into the business of what is the reduction. So to figure out the reduction, you divide the new ratio, which is bigger, by the old ratio. That gives you your change in ratio or your reduction. So 3.4 divided by 2.66, as we expected for low, is 27.5. Now the real kick in the pants here for me is when you do reverse. So reverse, we do the same thing. We take 2.805, which is the overall reverse ratio. I'm using the calculated instead of this counted one because it's probably slightly more accurate, but they're so close it doesn't matter. 2.805 divided by 2.64, you get 1.0625 or 6.25%. AKA, the way these gears are currently designed, they are not much of a reduction in reverse. So this is a shot that's from my old YouTube video when Adam Brown first sent me some spy shots on a prototype of this. But these are the same gears that are installed in my Pioneer 1000 right now. So the gears that are changed are this big gear. This is your low reduction. You see where I have to grind the case. This small gear back here, this is also your low gear on your input shaft. So this shaft goes straight to the motor. And you change out this idler. Now the way that Craftworks currently built this is they did not change the gears at the base of the idler. They didn't change the ratio between the idler and the input shaft.